as I said in one of the other videos, if you were watching, this thing had a pretty good shake at around 34 kilometers an hour. It would kind of be like a wave through the entire machine as I was out on the highway. Now, of course, 30K on the trails or the side of the road is fast enough. You're always starting and stopping. But yeah, I don't want that there. It's going to cause unnecessary wear on my tires anyways. So what I've done here, we're going to do a little bit of an alignment here. I've put these ratchet straps on here only for the fact of just to hold it. You don't want it too tight because it's going to pull down on the center of the column and you're going to wind up doing more damage. There's probably a plastic insert in there anyway, so just enough to hold it while you're adjusting the tie rod. I've got this handy dandy straight edge 1x3 out of the junk pile. Should be good enough. Now I did use another straight edge today for comparison, and it was the same no matter what. So if you look right here, there's a good gap right there compared to the front. Now that one's got to be towed in quite a bit. We want 1/8 of an inch on the other side of that, if you know what I mean. In other words, the front of that tire wants to be 1/8 of an inch to the inside, saying that when you are going at speed, that tire is going to want to bow out a little bit. So that's why you want to be that's why you want the toe in on this particular one. And just to match that, I don't know if you can see it very well, but on the front side of the back tire there is a little bit of a space. So when I do tow that one in, that's going to take up that space on the back. All right. So that's on the left side. Let's go take a look at the right and see what we got. So on the right side, you can tell this one is really bad on the front. We're touching here, and we're actually not too bad here. We have a little bit of a space there on the front side of the back tire, not as bad as the other side. But wow, yeah, that really needs to be, that's too much toe in. So we want to take up, we want to take up half of that space that you see up there, and hopefully that'll get rid of the shake. Now, saying that, these are bigger tires than the other ones, but they are size oriented, so they're one size bigger than what was on there. So essentially the backs should be in line with the fronts. So I'm going to get onto that. I'm going to loosen up the front. I'm going to move them, and that's all there is really to aligning the front. It's not rocket science, but you definitely want, I saw another guy talking about eclipsing the front and the back. Well, that's fine. I guess, here you can't really tell at all. You can tell that the wheels are pretty much, within spec of each other, but without putting that straight edge on there, you cannot tell that the front left tire is towed out from this angle at all, right? So saying that, I don't know if doing the front alignment is going to get rid of the shake. Hell, maybe the frame's bent on this thing. I have no idea. I do know that the bike had a bit of an accident. What do we got here? We have some broken plastic here, and you probably can't see, but down in here, one of the supports for, you can see how loose this is here, the whole plastic and everything. I don't know if you can see that, but anyways, one of the supports, the weld has broke away. I just never bothered to weld it. It was for the it's for underneath here. Again, this was a used bike, guys, so I'm just trying to do the best with what I got. So anyways, I'm going to do that, and it's pretty straightforward. You're going to loosen off, well, I got no light here. You're going to loosen off the inner tie rod. There's your inner tie rod right here. You're going to crack the nut on the tire side, crack the nut on the inner tie rod side. You're going to spin the inner rod, and you just watch your tire. You're going to want 1/8 of an inch, I believe, toe in on this Outlander. Okay, so I'm gonna get onto that, and I'll be back in a second, and we'll see what I got. All right, well, it's pretty damn easy. Certainly a lot better. Haven't test drove yet, but definitely with these Mega Mayhem tires, what you gotta watch out for is where the tread actually comes to the sidewall. You need to make sure the straight edge goes in between them. It can kind of fool with you a little bit if you keep putting it on. They got a really good sidewall tread on them. Anyways, let's get this up here and see what is happening. There you go. So now we got more, I don't know if I can see it, of a, let's call it a 1/8 to possibly 3/16, possibly. And just so you know, if I didn't mention it, there's probably 6.5 pounds pressure in these. Somewhere between 6 and 7 anyways. It will make a difference. I would imagine if I had 6 compared to 7. Yeah, so there is the left side. And you can see that we're touching there. And you can see that we're touching there, sorry for the camera, there on the back. And there on the back. So let's check out the right side. Again, I know it's just a piece of wood, guys. But earlier I did this with another piece of wood, had the exact same results. So I'm going to switch hands here and get this up to where it needs to go. There's that. There's that. Okay. So the back one, touching, touching, touching on the back of the front. And if you can see that, which it's very difficult on this side, it's a little bit darker, but there's definitely, actually it might not be as much as the other side, so I'm gonna have to pull that in just a slight bit. Probably won't make a difference, but it needs to be even. That's probably more your 1/8 on this side versus a little bit heavy on the 3/16 side, so I'll pull that side in. But I'll take this out for a rip down the highway and we'll see if it makes that shake go away. If it doesn't make it go away, maybe you guys can comment as to what else it could be. I really don't know. Again, this thing was hit on this side. I don't know if it fell off a trailer. I don't know if he wiped it out. I don't know exactly what's up with this bike. Like I said, you've got some broken plastic here and this this footrest underneath here. When I took the putting the plow harness support plate on the bottom, I noticed that everything was all bent to hell. I had to bend all this all back into whack just to get this plastic to line up. But other than that, it seems to work fine. So I'm going to take it for a rip and I'll let you know how it goes.